My mic was muted. Fuck. Hello, my magical friends. Welcome back to another video. It is time for our first, technically second, official backlog update of the year. And I'm so excited to share what I've been playing so far and also what I'm looking forward to playing in the near future. So let's just get right into it. So I managed to finish a total of 4 games during quarter one, which, isn't that impressive compared to how large my backlog is. But it's still an accomplishment since gaming while working full time and trying to achieve your dreams is no easy task. So the games I finished were Trails Through Daybreak 2, Fuga Melodies of Steel 2, Can I Not Fall for Idols, and Pokopia. So let's talk about them. Trails Through Daybreak 2 was fine. Personally, out of all the Trails games I played, it's probably my least favorite in terms of overall experience. I enjoyed the concept in theory. Like, I love games that have different routes you can take. I just find it more interesting than just playing a story linearly, usually. But this time, it felt like the execution wasn't that great. And the story was like, I don't know. There were moments I enjoyed, but there were also moments where I was like, what is happening right now? Does this really need to happen? I don't know. I wanted to give it a solid chance and really try to understand what they were trying to do after hearing some negative reviews. But like sometimes you just miss. And even in your favorite series, you're not always going to like every single game. So I'm not like disappointed or anything. It just is what it is. And then Fuga Melodies of Steel 2. I feel like I have to explain the premise of the series first because when you look at it first glance, some people are like, what's supposed to be happening here? Are those animal children in a tank? What is going on? So I played the first game last year, and it's basically about these children whose village gets attacked by the Burman, aka the antagonists, and their families get kidnapped and sent somewhere far away. And then they end up finding this big ass tank called the Tyrannus, and they use it to fight against the Burman and find their families. But in the second game, without spoiling anything, it's kind of like the aftermath of those events. And I definitely enjoyed the sequel even more than the first one with the new gameplay mechanics they added. It also ended on a major cliffhanger, so I will definitely be playing the third game, which happens to be the final entry in the series. If you're into tactical RPGs with emotional stories, then I would highly recommend giving it a try. It's on the shorter side as well in terms of length, so if you're a busy person, I promise it won't be a huge time sink. And the gameplay is really straightforward. Okay, next is Can I Not Fall for Idols? Before playing this game, I read that it was like an hour long and I was interested in the love interests until I actually played the game. I knew the game was going to be silly, but somehow I was still shocked at how nonsensical it was. Like, for sure, it's not an ultimate that should be taken seriously at all. But despite that, it was kind of bad. One thing I genuinely didn't like about it was that the MC was canonically 23, yet 2 out of the 3 love interests were confirmed to still be in high school. So like, no, thank you. And other than that, I just didn't care about them. They made me laugh, which I think was the point. However, there's a secret route, and I did like that for what it was. So if you want something really short and will get a laugh out of you due to how crazy it is, then you can try it out, but I'm not like recommending it. And last but certainly not least, Pokopia. And man, what a game. When it first came out, it was all everyone was talking about. I'll be honest, I didn't have any interest at first, but I was convinced to try it, and it was one of the best decisions I have made so far this year. I love the Animal Crossing like aspects, and honestly, even better than Animal Crossing in my opinion. But you didn't hear that from me. And the exploration was so good. There's just so much to discover, and being surprised by my favorite Pokemon made me feel like a kid again. It's an amazing game, and it honestly restored my faith in the Pokemon franchise a little bit. So if you got a Switch 2, I do think it's worth checking out. Alright, now that I've talked about the games I finished, let's talk about the games I didn't finish, but still spent some quality time with. First, Trails Beyond the Horizon, the latest entry in the Trails series. I was streaming it for a while after its release, but I'm still in Act 2 because I really wanted to take my time with it. I then decided that it would be best to play the rest of the game off stream so I could go at a pace more suitable to me because, when I stream a game that's dialogue heavy, it's hard for me to get through it at a normal pace because I'm also providing commentary and it just gets really tiresome. I might go back to streaming it again though, but I don't know. But I have been enjoying the game so far. Next is Pokemon Leaf Green. Now, I played Leaf Green when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and it's one of my favorite Pokemon games. And replaying it now, that still hasn't changed. It's so good. I'm like, oh, this is what Pokemon is supposed to feel like. And having more knowledge and experience now has made my time with it even more enjoyable. Okay, obviously, I'm in a very Pokemon time of my life right now because I was also playing through Pokemon Ranger. Pokemon Ranger is another game from my childhood that I did rage quit when I was a kid, so I rebought it to redeem myself. And honestly, despite how different it is from mainline Pokemon, it's very fun. Is it anything groundbreaking? No, but it's a good time. I do need to take breaks from it though, because it do be pissing me off sometimes. You know, you know. Okay, and then we have Amnesia Memories. And let me tell you, so this is an otome, and I've been in so this is an otome, and I've been in an so this is an otome, and I've been in an okay. So this is an otome, and I've been in an otome mood lately. I've had some interest in this game for a while, and when I saw it on sale on Steam, I had to grab it. And this game surprised me with how it managed to engross me. I played the first route and I could not stop playing it. Couldn't stop thinking about it. I've played a couple more routes, and although I wasn't as engaged with them like the first route, nothing will beat that first route, I think. They still had interesting stories. I don't want to go into specifics much because I personally feel like it's better to just experience it blind and see what you get. It's a great game though, trust me. Definitely some outdated dialogue and some really crazy, unrealistic wardrobe choices. But, it definitely gives classic. Okay, Octopath Traveler 0. I can't even talk about this one for real because I only played like 3 hours of it. It definitely has some darker story elements, as others have mentioned before. This might end up being a game I'll play more towards the end of the year though, so like don't expect me to talk about it anymore anytime soon. Trouble Comes Twice. I mentioned this game in my last backlog update. I have not touched that game since. I just have no motivation for it. Let's leave it at that. And lastly, this isn't a backlog game, but I did play the Dragon Quest VII Reimagined demo. It was okay at first, but I was getting into it by the end of the demo, and then they like cut it off at a weird part. But I do see myself playing this game, but like farther in the future. All right, with 4 games finished this year so far, I'm now sitting at 111 games in my backlog. But technically more than that because some of the games I own are collections of at least 2 games. But we're going to say 111 to make myself feel better. For quarter 2, I'll be playing through Zero Escape 999, which I already finished by the time of me finishing this script, but we'll talk about that game later. More Leaf Green, Final Fantasy 15, more Amnesia Memories, Pokemon Sword, Tomodachi, Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream. Also The Adventures of Elliot, which is coming out in June, and I think Snowkissed Romance will be coming out within the next few months, so I'll be checking those out as well. I know I've only finished 4 games this year, but I've been working hard to make time for gaming in my life. I've been playing a lot, and it makes me happy to spend more time doing the thing that I love most. Well, that's it for the backlog update. I hope these updates can inspire someone to also get through their backlog in a healthy and flexible manner. I actually want to make a guide on how to tackle your backlog, not just for others, but for me as well, because I do struggle with following my own advice sometimes. But I think from looking at my own experience plus other people's experiences, I've kind of figured out the best, in my opinion, way to tackle the backlog. And I wanted to take into consideration those who may be working full-time jobs like me, especially full-time jobs where you actually have to leave your house, or people who feel they just can't lock in for whatever reason. So look forward to that maybe. Okay, that's it. I'll see y'all in the next video.